Welcome to Deep COUP channel. Russian army fleeing from Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin is very angry. What is the purpose of the shock change in the Russian command? Ukrainian defense forces continue to defeat the Russian army on all fronts. Latest news from Solder and Bakhmut indicates that the fighting is getting worse. Ukrainian army may receive the Leopard tanks very soon. There are also very important developments for the Ukrainian Air Force. Russian army is waiting for the new mobilization decision to be announced by Vladimir Putin. Coming spring months may be the scene of more violent clashes than we think. Ukrainian armed forces continue to break up the Russian troops with their operations in various regions. In the last 24 hours, the Ukrainian Air Force has carried out 12 airstrikes on various points under the control of the Russian army, and 4 airstrikes on anti-aircraft missile system positions. As a result of the attacks of the Ukrainian army, Russia lost a large number of radar stations, command centers, and ammunition depots. Enraged by these attacks, Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered his troops to attack immediately. Acting on Putin's instruction, the Russian army tried to carry out 6 missiles and 14 airstrikes against the Ukrainian army. In addition, Russian missile forces made 95 attempts to attack using multiple launch rocket systems. While most of these Russian attacks took place in the Bakhmut and Solder regions, the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces also made statements on the subject. According to the Ukrainian General Staff, the Ukrainian Defense Forces managed to repel the attacks of the Russian army in 9 regions. It is reported that the Ukrainian army made very strong defenses, especially in the Luhansk and Kupiansk regions. In addition, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine made statements regarding the losses suffered by Russia the other day. Accordingly, Russia lost 820 soldiers, 9 tanks, 10 armored combat vehicles, 4 artillery systems, 1 multiple launch rocket system, 4 tactical unmanned aerial vehicles, and 1 warplane in the last 24 hours. This warplane, which Russia lost, was made possible by the successful air defense of the Ukrainian army. While it is stated that the crashed fighter plane is the Su-25 series, there is no official news about which region it crashed. As these allegations continue, the UK Ministry of Defence has released a new update on the situation in the Solder and Bakhmut regions. According to British intelligence, Ukrainian troops have probably withdrawn from the city of Solder and continue to defend themselves against Russian forces on the outskirts of Bakhmut. Withdrawal of the Ukrainian army from certain parts of the Solder region is a step towards protecting one of the most strategic points of the war, Bakhmut. Currently, Russia aims to weaken the resistance of Ukrainian troops in the region by targeting the supply lines in the Bakhmut region. However, it would not be wrong to say that Russia has not made any progress in this region. Russian President Vladimir Putin is fed up with his failures at the front, especially the big Russian offensive, which is planned to be carried out next spring, is extremely important for Vladimir Putin. Putin hopes this attack will be successful. Therefore, he began to make some preparations. Vladimir Putin will announce a new mobilization order this week, the Independent War Studies Institute reported. It is estimated that with this decision, Putin wants to increase the number of soldiers in the Russian army to 2 million in total. However, the main problem of the Russian army at the front is not the number of soldiers. Russia is struggling to find professional soldiers. In this context, Putin officially announced that he had changed the Russian general commanding the Ukrainian war. Chief of the Russian General Staff, Valery Gerasimov, currently commands Russian troops in Ukraine. Previously, this task was performed by Sergei Surovikin. With this change and the new mobilization decision to be announced, Russia aims to use the Russian soldiers fighting on the front more efficiently. But the main problem here is the difference in quality between the Ukrainian army and the Russian army. Ukrainian army is far ahead of the Russian army in terms of military training, weapons and ammunition. In addition, a possible aid from Western countries may cause this gap between the two armies to widen even more. In this context, It is stated that Russia has deployed new air defense systems to many regions, including Moscow. This step is actually a concrete example of how much Russia fears Ukraine. After it was revealed that the S-400 air defense systems were deployed in various regions of Russia, Western sources began to announce new aid to be sent to the Ukrainian army. First, the New York Times reported that 300,000 rounds would be sent to Kiev forces from American supplies held in Israel for emergency use. While these munitions were in Israel for a long time, they were used in the operations to be carried out by the U.S. Army in the region. I think that 300,000 artillery ammunition will provide a serious advantage at this stage of the war. Immediately after this news, some sources, who did not want to be named, said that Germany could supply 180 Leopard series tanks to Ukraine. However, it is stated that these tank transfers can be realized after the delivery of the Marder series armored vehicles that Germany has already sent to Ukraine. It is also among the news that Germany wants to give the Leopard 1 series tanks to Ukraine instead of the Leopard 2 series. Although there are no serious differences between the two tank models in terms of use and power, we can say that the Leopard 2 series is much more modern and advanced. Main news in the background of this topic is about the Ukrainian Air Force. Many Ukrainian officials, especially Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, have been asking for warplanes from Western countries for a long time. In this context, it was claimed that many warplanes, including the American F-16 or Swedish JAS-39 Gripen, would be sent to Ukraine. However, no official steps have been taken to address this issue so far. But now, according to the latest news, the Ukrainian army wants Eurofighter Typhoon planes more than F-16 or JAS-39. This is because Eurofighters are more successful in air defense against Russian bombers and warplanes. Multi-role use of the Eurofighter can play an important role in overcoming all the problems that the Ukrainian army needs. Apart from the Eurofighter, the A-10 Thunderbolt warplanes in the inventory of the U.S. Army are among the systems that are said to be delivered to the Ukrainian army. While this issue is expected to be resolved as soon as possible, important statements came from Russia. Russian officials said that Western countries should cut their support to Ukraine. Russia regularly says that the systems supplied to Ukraine by Western countries are legitimate targets for the Russian military. However, to date, we have not seen Russia even come close to these systems. Russian President Vladimir Putin knows that he cannot win this war as long as the support of the West continues. That's why Putin is trying to win at the table the war he couldn't win at the front. Russian leader, who aims to cast a shadow on the successes of the Ukrainian army at the front, will never get what he wants. Winner of this war is already known. Victory to Ukraine. We will continue to monitor the world and especially Ukraine. We'll see what happens in the next few days. We have reached the end of another video. You can support us by liking the video. You can easily follow new videos by subscribing. I wish you all a war-free day. See you.